Good afternoon. I hope all is most definitely having a good day. I'm just coming on because I just left out of viewing the courtroom of um, Georgia with the Georgia committee, and they was hearing Miss Amanda's Seals concern. Whoa, that last the last concerns from both sides. Uh, One of the representatives of the committee and Miss Amanda Seals and her lawyer. I didn't get his name, but I most definitely will say I understand both of their sides. I would say for Representative Jones, I would say he had a good point acknowledging that there are concerning the web links that Miss Amanda Seals posted on her GoFundMe page when she was fired from uh, the DA's office by Miss Fannie Willis. Her case, her complaint is that in front of the ethics committee was that Miss D.A. Fannie Willis fired her when she had a concern about fund misappropriation of funds concerning a program that was not being funded properly. Now, Representative Jones stated, his concern was there are many subdivisions that fall, that this grant is supposed to be distributed to, and because the funding is supposed to be distributed to each subdivision or each program, where's your proof that she misappropriated funds? Miss Amanda Seals' response was it doesn't matter if it was $5. Those funds were supposed to go to a designated area and they did not. I'm just going to pinpoint one example. She said that there was a Dell computer that was purchased, and you know, it had nothing to do with the like a junior gang subdivision or something like that. Funding going to the children. She said it had nothing to do with that. Yet it was purchased. So is it possible that you can be granted money and you put money over here even though this one use it because of the funding and you're just trying to balance it out across the board? Could it be that? Or is it her initial point that the funds was misappropriated? Either way it goes, she would have to, even though she had a thick stack of papers in her binder, it would have been better if she just would have bullet pointed, got to the point of it. I don't I watch these cases, some of these cases I've been following, and that's my concern to like the defense. Like, if you have or anyone that's trying to, yeah, the defense, someone trying to defend themselves, or even if they're bringing on a case, whether it be the prosecutors, whatever, at the end of the day, things should be straight to the point because look, there's a million cases that have to be tried at the end of the day. In respect of what all, not saying that no one's point is not relative, it's just saying that it should be organized in a way to where you can get straight to the point. I think a lot of cases are lost like that, in my opinion. But she did have this thick binder. I don't know. She stated to the committee that this binder consists of, or outlined where funds were misappropriated. I think that's what she was saying, or she could, prove this. And so, with that being said, you know, that would most definitely, and they did ask her to admit it, although she had all those papers. Let us see exactly what you're talking about, and I agree with that. she did pinpoint, she did have proof of one, and that was with the computer I was stating. Now, I go back to my initial point. I agree with Representative Jones because, excuse me, it's a possibility that this area was good on funding, but this area was lacking funding. And because this is my budget, I'm just going to go ahead and put the funds there. That's by choice of how that's being ran, so on and so forth. Because at the end of the day, how someone previously ran something is not how someone else would choose to maybe run a system, as long as that system is not oppressing or suppressing anyone concerning where those fundings are going to. It should be legitimate, period. So I understood that. Okay, so I'm with Representative Jones there. Now, when it comes to Miss Amanda Seals and her concern is, okay, even if you don't have accurate proof of misappropriations of funds, even if it's not showing, you can't clearly show that. Okay, if we go over here, concerning, okay, how she was fired or how she was demoted, that is a problem. She came to her with the concern that there was a misappropriations of funds going on. Miss Willis could have very well said, you have the wrong understanding. I agree with Miss Amanda Seals' lawyer. She should have been able to express where this was wrong. I did not hear what happened. What was Miss Willis' response? I'm going to go back and watch it in just a minute because I just came in kind of like towards the little ending. I missed where she said she had the recording on her phone when she came to Miss Willis about the misappropriations of funds. And Miss Willis, I don't know her reply. I'm going to go back and watch it. However, she could have just got to the point and said, I understand your concern, but please do understand that this goes here, this goes here. She could have explained it to her so she wouldn't have had that thought in her mind to even to go report her to someone else. When she went to report the concern to someone else, then she was I think that's when she was fired. I think no, when she said she went to her and she was demoted. Once she was demoted, she didn't only just have her job that she was responsible for, she had 3 jobs she was responsible for. And then in addition to that, when she went to go complain about it because it was wrongfully did, I mean, that was wrong at the end of the day. Whoever she told and her concern went to, they, I guess, went and told Miss Willis about it, and then all of a sudden she gets fired. So that within itself, I feel like is a legitimate, lawsuit on that behalf, just for wrongful termination. Even though you can have at will, it kind of goes, and then that's where her whistleblowing, I guess, would kind of kick in. It's like discrimination just because I had a concern or I went and told how I felt you demoted me because of my concern. So I'm not sure how that will fall into play, like legally, like what's the main, the reasoning for the case. But I feel like she would have something there. Most definitely. But again, with the misappropriations of funds, if that's gonna be the case, then you would most definitely have to have that evidence. And will she? We'll see. Going further. But I think it's like June the 27th or something like that. We'll see how it goes from there. But that was like, whoa, good arguments on 2 sides. But I can agree. As I just stated. So that is something. And let me grab this. I most definitely agree. I disagree with my colleague concerning Miss Crockett because I went back and I viewed the initial conversation before the conflict occurred. And Miss Crockett wasn't trying to wave away from the point of matter that the subject matter that they were discussing. That was actually Miss Green. Miss Green was the one who got off the point of what they was initially meeting for. And you know, she made a statement. Miss Crockett asked her, "Excuse me, do you know why we're here?" And that's when she commented on her eyelashes. And that's when Miss Crockett had to get her together. Simple as that. Because she allowed the chair, the speaker of that committee to handle the situation, and he did not. And that's why the matter escalated. I will most definitely say that I also got to watch my colleagues' content concerning Representative Nikki Haley. I will most definitely say that her reasoning, seems to be policy. But what policy is she concerned about? And why wouldn't she consider, maybe working with the Democrats and President Joe Biden about a policy when we can all agree that everything has been in a mess, everything has been messed up because of political war. But I think all's attention now is focused, whether it be a real Democrat, a real Republican, real Democrat, is most definitely focused on moving forward in a bipartisan way. There is the MAGA regime that is in the House, and that is, they're doing everything to hold people accountable for things, but they don't want to be held accountable. If they had true points, people would be more willing to take them serious. I'm not talking about a real Republican. I still feel at the end of the day, our House of Representatives should consist of both. But when it's such a fight like it has seemed to be throughout these months, even with doing the things that should have no type of argument, no type of misunderstanding attached, it's just been, that gets frustrating for people, for the citizens, the American citizens that expect, leadership to be able to work on our behalf in a way that it should. And that's why I stand for that. And that's why I most definitely said, if President Biden, if the office of president appoints justices on the Supreme Court, starting with what he can work with, these judges, these justices should be held accountable for their wrongdoing and their unpatriotic behavior. At the end of the day, we have the extremist patriotics, the group MAGA, aka QAnon, whatever former President Trump has been posting and trying to, rally up and start this war for this nation. And the truth of it is it's at this point, the American citizens have to ask, is this really worth, inviting in to our country, our land, chaos, confusion, just because someone is a different race, a different color? Because this is all they really consist of. When it comes to policy and things like that, there is no policy. It's just what we want, and we better have it our way at the end of the day. It may not seem important to people that agree with the core of hate. It may not seem important now, until I always say the ball is in your court when it's injustice. What happens when you just want to be a former, but now, that's wiped out? Whether that's wicked left, wicked right, it doesn't matter. But I'm just talking about from this point of view, where this hate is being pumped in to where it's being encouraged. Yeah, go out and hurt all that's not the same color as you, and all this, which will eventually, if there's no way to fix that, although we can go vote, if there's no one going to be held accountable, even if we vote someone in and each branch is not controlled to where they're submissive to accepting all citizens, stay to your side, let them stay to theirs at the end of the day, kind of how it's been running, then it's going to be a mess. So we are hoping that our leaders can most definitely get to the bottom of things. And we'll just, it's a process. We'll see how it works out at the end of the day. I still believe no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Just still be encouraged, still, just hope for the best and try to stay positive, speak positivity, just try to focus on the positive things. Don't too much play into the bad, although sometimes it just is what it is. But I'm saying that with Democrats, even with them in the House right now, even with our president being President Joe Biden, he can do something now. So I will most definitely still disagree with my colleague on that. But in the meantime, in the between time, that's all I have. I just wanted to come on quickly with that little update because that was very interesting to me. And so, of course, I wanted to share it. So, yeah, that's my commentary. That's my consent. And I'll catch you all later.